Welcome to Withdraw Consent. I'm Victor. This is Jack. So let's talk immigration, mostly about our southern border.
Okay. So this video is going to be published a substantial amount of time after that summit where the Republican candidates, except for Donald Trump, got to talk.
The Blaze one.
The Blaze one, right. And so one of the things Tucker did, who was, Blaze was hosting it, Tucker was the moderator, and he hit each candidate with this question, like, would you send troops to the southern border, right?
Okay.
And I'm sitting there and I'm watching this for hours and hours and hours, and he keeps doing the same question. And it's like, would you or would you not just put a human wall of troops that's impassable? You know what I mean? Millions, and I'm sitting there thinking about just the ludicrousness of this. Because what if you did put a million troops on the border? He didn't say a million, but say you lined it up, solid wall, 3 people. Of course, you need more people than that. But you know what happened?
What's that?
Immigrants would just walk up to the wall.
Okay.
Be like asylum. And they'd be like, okay, come on, we'll process you.
They should have called a bluff. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, he's pretending like if you put people with guns there, nothing will happen, though. Nothing. Right?
Unless you're going to say they have orders to shoot on sight, then no one's going to ever approach the border again.
And they're never going to do that.
Right. They will never do that.
So it's funny because the whole idea of immigration, when speaking to each of these candidates, was nonsense. Because you're looking like, I want to secure the border. Will you send troops or not? Don't care. It won't do anything.
So it's almost like a fake solution to try to make people think that something would or wouldn't be done when...
Right. And you could defeat Tucker easily if you say, I would absolutely not send troops to the border. Do you know why? Because that wouldn't help. What we need is legislative change in Congress. And if you elect me president of the United States, I will not be in the legislative branch in Congress. You need to go talk to senators and, what's the solution? I could promise you I won't veto good immigration reform.
Yeah.
I could even help you advocate for, going for the president.
Sure.
Like I'm just watching it and it's like, I'm in this loony world.
Right.
The things you're asking are not even related to the office being sought.
Yeah.
You know? And you could say, oh, well, the president can executive order some stuff, but he's not even talking about that. He's talking about sending troops to the border. And you can executive order some stuff. And in 4 years, those executive orders go away on day one.
Sure.
It's not actual reform. So basically, what I'm pitching to you here is that within the system that we have, this terrible, rotten system that's rotten, right? I said that twice. But basically, there's one way to fix the border. It's through the legislative branch.
Okay.
If it doesn't get blocked by the executive branch and then challenged and blocked by the judicial branch, that's your path within the system.
Right.
Give me a time frame for when you think in the future maybe the legislator's going to vote to deport all the illegal immigrants that have ever come to this country.
I would say never.
Absolutely never. So if you answer that question and you say, well, within the next 2 decades, I predict that, okay, we'll just hang on then. Just wait for 2 decades and good luck to you. As your jobs get taken, your wages go down, all the benefits of living in the society are dispersed among people who definitely don't belong here. And I'm talking about illegal immigrants. We could talk about legal immigrants. That's a whole other story. But I'm just saying, if you agree with us that it's not going to happen legislatively, it's not going to. There could be minor things, like maybe say, we'll secure the border a little bit if you amnesty 4 million people. That might happen. That's not the solution.
Right.
I want to go back and revoke previous amnesties.
Sure.
That's the way I want to go. And so if you can say that it's not going to happen legislatively, forget all the nonsense about troops and executive orders and just nonsense. If you say it's not going to happen legislatively, then you've got to say that there's no solution for the border within the system.
Sure.
It must therefore be true. Then you have to fight for a new system.
Right.
The goal should be to get rid of this system. If you care about the border, get rid of the system, put in a new system that's interested in the well-being of the people.
Yes. The people that are here.
The people that belong here, we'll say.
Right.
And that's basically it's kind of a concise argument right there.
Yeah, it's really simple when you break it down like that. You can't even get past the first step of passing the laws. So how can you believe this would ever get fixed?
Right. And also, don't fall for all their... Whenever you hear something about the border, just think, is this complete nonsense? because the stuff they're talking about is complete nonsense. You know, even if you just go back and, okay, I dug it, build the wall.
Okay,
We're going to go way back,
yeah,
right?
definitely.
I dig it, build the wall, right? They just walk up to the port of entry, you know?
Right.
And then he did the remain in Mexico thing, which was a policy put in place just because of COVID. So as soon as the pandemic ends, that's going to end. That's not a solution. It's a temporary reprieve from some of the illegal immigration, you know? They're not actual solutions when you think about it.
Right.
You know, like a wall would be good to prevent people who are doing more like trafficking, like a couple coyotes with like 15 kids. That would be good to stop them. It would be good to stop people trying to bring over mass quantities of drugs on like a boat and then it's picked up by, that would be good. Yeah. But it's not, and we should do those things. I mean, the wall's a good idea for those, but it's the laws, you know?
Right.
That they're just walking in.
Right. For the people that want to move here legitimately.
Right. Just everything about the border. Like you watch these people on the internet and they're just cheering on like, oh yeah, Governor Abbott, he sent buses into the interior, sent them to AOC's house or Kamala's house.
So we sent them farther from the border that they illegally crossed.
Right. Woo. No, nobody wants them.
Right.
Texas doesn't want them. You send them to somebody else who pretends that they want them but doesn't want them. We're not better off for you doing that.
Right.
You know? And if you live in New York, I don't live in New York. If you live in New York, you're still my countryman.
Right.
If I'm cursed, I don't want to pass that curse on to you.
Right.
And if Texas is cursed, I don't want Texas to, you know what I'm saying? Even though you're from New York or California or whatever. And there's lots of good people upstate New York, obviously. You know? Anyways, that's just it, basically.
Okay. Yeah, I can't argue with you.
Yeah. And we have a lot of content along these lines. If you'll go back into our backlog and look at it, you'll see that we just make arguments down the line that the system has to go.
Right.
And you have to reorient your mind towards not thinking for solutions within the system.
Yeah, and once you can latch onto one of these, I mean, it's hard the first time because especially if you've been waving the flag your whole life and, you know, you're that type of a patriotic American and all that,
right.
To admit that it's not as great as you thought it was.
Yeah, and it doesn't make you any less patriotic, though, what we're saying, because I still want America. I still want Americans. I still want the beautiful land of America. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I still want it all. I just want to get rid of this elite ruling class, you know?
Yeah.
I want people to be hung for treason. Many, 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 many people. Do you know what I mean? All the bad people, just the villains. And I'm not saying when I say like the top 0.5% of just elites, I'm not talking about the rich.
Right.
I'm not talking about that. Like if you're just a wealthy person, like do your thing, brother, you know?
Yeah.
But on the other hand, did you lie about pharmaceutical studies and all these people are injured by this stuff? Cool. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Catch them at the airport before they leave. Just saying. Right. Or extradite them. Send Mossad teams around the world and pretend like they're hunting for, you know what I mean? Remember when they did that? Just illegally kidnap people all around the world because, you know, he used to be a secretary at a camp that didn't really
do anything.
Yeah, a very worky camp. Okay.
No Duffy.
Yeah. And if you don't understand what we're talking about, we got a Holocaust series.
Yeah, check it out.
Welcome you to watch it. Yeah. That's what I got, basically.
Okay, cool. So do you believe there is a solution in the system? We'd love to hear.
For the border.
Yeah, for the border.
Right, just specifically that.
And like, we'd really be interested in how you're getting around what we're talking about as far as long-term reform to prevent this from happening in the future. Let us know your thoughts. We release new content Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. And hopefully we'll see you then.